Title: And My Wife's Secret CAR Confession Shattered Me. My revenge was unforgettable. The morning sun streamed through the kitchen window, casting a golden glow on the breakfast table where I'd set out fresh coffee and croissants, hoping to start the day with a moment of warmth. I loved everything about my wife: Nerys, her sharp wit, her fiery ambition, the way her laughter could light up a room. But on that day, as I called her name from the porch, I saw her in the car parked in our driveway, her voice low, her phone pressed to her ear. She didn't see me, but I heard her words, a slip that shattered my world. "I can't wait to be with you tonight, Kael." My heart stopped, her accidental confession a dagger, and I knew everything was about to change. I'm Calen, a man who feels too deeply. Average build, soft-spoken, with a heart that breaks too easily. Nerys called me spineless, her favorite insult, delivered with a sneer that made me feel small. I'd loved her since our first date at a local jazz festival, her fiery ambition a spark I thought we'd share, her career as an art dealer a dream I supported with every late shift at the community college library. But that spark turned to ice, her ambition a wall I couldn't scale. Her late nights, her dismissive sneers, the way she'd brush off my concerns, they were signs I ignored, hoping love could fix us, until her accidental confession in the car exposed the truth. I stood frozen on the porch, the coffee cup in my hand trembling, tears I despised burning my eyes, the weight of her betrayal a physical blow. "Kael," she'd said, her voice soft, intimate, a tone she hadn't used with me in years. I knew Kael, her gallery partner, the man I'd seen her laugh with at events, her hand lingering on his arm, her excuses always sharp. I'd found a hotel receipt in her purse last month, not ours, but she'd laughed it off, calling me paranoid. "You're so needy, Calen," she'd said, and I believed her, thought I was the problem, until her words in the car confirmed my worst fears. I turned back inside, the croissants untouched, the kitchen's warmth now a mockery of the life I thought we had. My chest ached, the image of her in the car, her voice so tender for him, searing into me. I wanted to storm out, to demand why, but my legs wouldn't move, the old fear of her scorn, spineless holding me back. Instead, I grabbed my keys and drove to Ferris's place, my best friend who'd never trusted Nerys. His apartment, a small space above a bike shop, smelled of oil and metal, a refuge from the chaos inside me. He opened the door, his face softening as he saw my expression. "What happened, Calen?" he asked, pulling me inside. I collapsed onto his worn couch, the words spilling out. The breakfast, Nerys in the car, her accidental confession, my escape. Ferris's jaw tightened, his usual humor gone. "She's a snake," he said, handing me a glass of water. "You don't deserve this." I nodded, my throat tight, unable to speak, the weight of her betrayal a crushing force. I opened my notebook, a secret I'd kept since Nerys mocked my writing as childish, and wrote, "I'm not her toy." The words felt fragile, but they sparked a resolve, a need to act, not just flee. Ferris saw, his hand on my shoulder. "You're stronger than she thinks, Calen," he said, his support a lifeline, his role in my journey a constant I cherished. I texted Isolde, my coworker at the library who'd seen me through Nerys' worst. Heard Nerys on the phone. "She's seeing Kael." Her reply was instant. "Come to the library tomorrow. We'll plan." The morning stretched endlessly, Nerys' voice in the car a haunting loop, her betrayal a wound I couldn't close. I thought of our early days, her laughter once genuine, a memory tainted by her cruelty. The library loomed, a battlefield I wasn't ready for, but I knew I had to face her, to uncover her lies, while her accidental confession echoed, a moment I'd never forget, driving me to fight with a strength she'd never break. The bike shop's faint hum of spinning wheels below Ferris's apartment was a quiet backdrop to the storm inside me. Nerys' accidental confession in the car. "I can't wait to be with you tonight." Kael still echoing, a wound that had kept me awake. Her betrayal a haunting reality I couldn't unhear. I'd walked away from the house, the croissants I'd made for breakfast left untouched, but the fire of her words burned, pushing me to act, not just crumble. I'd come to the library to meet Isolde, my notebook tucked in my bag with the words, "I'm not her toy." a mantra I clung to, determined to uncover the truth and fight back. Isolde was waiting in the library's reference section, her warm smile a contrast to the storm inside me as she pulled me into a quiet alcove, the shelves towering around us like a fortress of knowledge. "You did the right thing, walking away, Calen," she said, her voice steady, her role in my fight a fierce anchor. I nodded, my hands trembling as I recounted the morning. Nerys in the car, her confession, my escape. Isolde's eyes narrowed, her support a lifeline. "We'll find out what she's hiding," she said, pulling out her phone. "I know someone who can help." She called Riven, a private investigator she'd worked with before, putting him on speaker. "I can look into her, Calen," Riven said, his voice crisp. "If she's been unfaithful, there'll be a trail." I nodded, the stakes rising, my determination unshakable. "Do it," I said, my voice firm, a step toward agency I'd never taken with Nerys. Riven agreed, his tone steady. "I'll start with her gallery finances. Be ready for anything." I wrote, "Her lies won't bury me." The words were a vow, a fire growing within me to face the truth Nerys had hidden. I decided to confront Kael, her gallery partner, to shake her world, an external conflict I was ready for. I drove to the gallery, its modern facade a stark contrast to the warmth I'd once felt there, my heart pounding as I walked in. Kael was in his office, sorting through invoices, his smirk faltering as he saw me, his eyes darting nervously. "Calen," he said, his voice tight, a flicker of the man who'd hidden behind Nerys' control. "I know about you and Nerys," I said, my voice steady, cutting through his arrogance. "She said your name on the phone. I heard everything." His face paled, a flash of panic, a glimpse of guilt I hadn't expected. She pushed me into it," he stammered, his voice breaking. "She's been planning to leave you for months." I left, the confrontation a small victory, Kael's confession a weapon Riven could use. Back at Ferris's, I wrote, "I'm free to see." The pain of Nerys' confession, her affair with Kael, still stung, but I was moving forward. Ferris clapped my shoulder, his grin wide. "You're taking control, Calen," he said, his support a warmth I clung to, his role in my journey a constant. Isolde texted, "Riven found something. Meet me at the center tomorrow." The message hinted at a twist, the stakes rising, my determination unshakable. I didn't sleep, the night stretching endlessly, Nerys' voice in the car a haunting loop, her betrayal a wound I couldn't close. I thought of our early days, her laughter once genuine, a memory tainted by her cruelty. I'd loved everything about her, her wit, her ambition, but that love had blinded me to her true nature, her sneer a mask for the lies she'd lived. The community center loomed, a battlefield I wasn't fully ready for, but I knew I had to face her, to uncover the full extent of her deceit, while her accidental confession echoed, a moment I'd never forget, driving me to fight with a strength she'd never break, as I prepared to confront the reality of who she'd become. The community center's morning chatter filled the air as I stepped inside, the scent of fresh paint from a recent mural project a faint comfort against the storm inside me. Riven's investigation, prompted by Isolde's text, still weighing on my mind. Nerys' accidental confession in the car, "I can't wait to be with you tonight," Kael had been a dagger, her betrayal a haunting reality I couldn't unhear, and Kael's stammered admission, "She's been planning to leave you," had only deepened the wound. I'd walked away, confronted him, and now, with Riven digging into Nerys' finances, I was ready to uncover the full truth, no longer the Calen she'd mocked as spineless. Isolde was waiting in the center's art room, her eyes sharp with determination as she pulled me to a table cluttered with paintbrushes, the mural of a vibrant cityscape on the wall behind us. "Riven's got something, Calen," she said, her voice steady, her role in my fight a fierce anchor. I nodded, my hands trembling as I sat, recounting Kael's confession and my confrontation at the gallery. Isolde's face hardened, her support a lifeline. "Look at this," she said, handing me a file from Riven. "Nerys has been funneling gallery funds into a hidden account with Kael, but there's more. She's been paying for a second phone, one she's used to contact him for over a year." My breath caught, the depth of her deceit a fresh wound, a plot twist that hit like a punch. "She's been living a double life," Isolde added, her tone grim. She wanted to drain you financially before leaving. I wrote in my notebook. Her lies are her trap. The words fueled me, a declaration of my fight, bolstered by Isolde's encouragement, a fire growing within me to expose her fully. I called Ferris, needing his steady presence, his voice a lifeline over the phone. She's been using a second phone, Ferris, I said, my voice cracking. With Kael. His tone was firm, his role in my journey a constant warmth. Come to the loft, we'll plan. At Ferris's loft, the scent of oil and metal from the bike shop below grounded me as I sat on his couch, the file opened before me. You've got her, Calen, he said, clapping my shoulder, his support a foundation I leaned on. What's your next move? I nodded, the fire within me burning brighter. I'm confronting her at home, I said, my voice steady, a defiance I'd never shown Nerys before. Riven texted, Nerys is at your house. She's meeting Nerys, her mother, to discuss selling the gallery. The message raised the stakes, my determination unshakable, ready to face her on my own turf. I drove home, the morning sun now high, casting sharp shadows across the driveway where I'd seen her in the car, my heart pounding as I walked in. Nerys was in the kitchen with Nerys, her face pale, her eyes red, a flicker of the woman who'd feared failure, now caught in her own web. Calen, she said, her voice trembling as she saw me, no trace of her sneer, Nerys's sharp gaze beside her. I know about the second phone, the hidden account, I said, my voice steady, the external conflict of battlefield I was ready for. You've been planning to leave me for Kael. Her face crumpled, tears spilling, but Nerys's voice cut through, her tone sharp. You're overreacting, she snapped, her defense of Nerys a betrayal in itself. I didn't back down. You don't get to control me anymore, I said, turning to leave, Nerys's voice trailing. Calen, I'm sorry, but I didn't look back, the confrontation of victory, her stunned silence a prelude to her defeat. I drove to Ferris's, writing, I'm free to rise. The pain of her confession, her affair with Kael, still lingered, but I was moving forward, supported by Ferris, Isolde, and Riven, their roles in my journey a foundation I'd built on, ready to face whatever came next, while Nerys' world crumbled, her accidental confession a memory I'd outgrow with a strength she'd never break. The bike shop's rhythmic clatter below Ferris's loft was a steady pulse against the storm inside me. Nerys' tearful plea in the kitchen. Calen, I'm sorry, a fading echo in my mind. Her stunned silence after I confronted her about the second phone and hidden account a crack in her icy control. Her accidental confession in the car. I can't wait to be with you tonight. Kael had been a dagger, her betrayal a haunting reality I couldn't unhear, and the evidence of her financial deceit with Kael had only deepened the wound. I'd walked away, fought back, and now, with Riven's investigation exposing her schemes, I was ready to seal my freedom, no longer the Calen she'd mocked as spineless. Ferris handed me a fresh mug of coffee, his eyes sharp with concern as he sat across from me, the afternoon light filtering through his small window, casting patterns on the hardwood floor. You've got her on the ropes, Calen, he said, his voice steady, his role in my journey a constant anchor. She's losing everything. His words were a boost, his support a foundation I leaned on. I nodded, my resolve unyielding. I'm not stopping now, I said, my voice firm, a defiance I'd never shown Nerys before. I wrote, I'm free to rise. The words were a vow, a step beyond the pain, fueled by his encouragement and Isolde's fierce guidance. Isolde called, her voice urgent as I answered. We've got a twist, Calen, she said, her role in my fight a fierce beacon. Nerys tried to transfer the gallery's remaining assets to her mother, Nerys, to avoid the audit, but Riven caught it. She's frozen everything. My breath caught. The depth of her desperation a shock, her fear in the kitchen now a prelude to her latest scheme. She's at the gallery with her lawyer, Isolde added. She's panicking, Calen. Be ready. I nodded, the stakes higher, my determination unshakable, ready to face her one last time. I drove to the gallery, the city's evening shadows lengthening across its modern glass facade, a stark reminder of the dreams I'd once supported, my heart pounding as I walked in. Nerys stood with her lawyer, her face pale, her eyes red, a flicker of the woman who'd feared failure, now caught in her own web amidst half-packed crates of artwork. "Calen," she said, her voice trembling as she saw me, no trace of her sneer, her lawyer's sharp gaze beside her. I didn't want this. I was trying to save my career." Her words were soft, a glimpse of vulnerability, but I saw the manipulation beneath. Her hands clutching a file, her lawyer's tense posture, hoping to pull me back into her control. "You try to hide the assets with Nerys," I said, my voice steady, cutting through her lies, the external conflict a battlefield I was ready for. "You don't get to rewrite this. Nerys, you betrayed me with Kael, and you tried to ruin me." Her face crumpled, tears spilling, but her lawyer stepped in, his tone sharp. "We can settle this quietly," he said, but I cut him off, my defiance unwavering. "No," I said, my voice firm. "You made your choice. I'm done." I turned to leave, Nerys' voice trailing. Calen, please asterisk. But I didn't look back, the confrontation of victory, her stunned silence a prelude to her defeat. I drove to the community center, my notebook open, writing, "I'm free to heal." The pain of her confession, her affair with Kael, still lingered, but I was moving forward. Isolde met me there, her hug fierce. "Court's tomorrow, Calen," she said, her role in my journey a constant warmth. "You've got this." Ferris texted, "Proud of you, man." "Finish it," Riven called, his voice steady. "Kael's testimony is airtight. Nerys is done," he said, his role in uncovering the truth a critical support. The court hearing loomed, a final battle to seal my freedom, but I was ready, armed with evidence, resolve, and a fire within, supported by Ferris, Isolde, and Riven. Nerys' betrayal in the car had been her undoing, and I'd walked away, fought back, ready to forge a new path, while her world crumbled, her accidental confession a memory I'd outgrow with a strength she'd never break. The courtroom's tension dissolved as the judge's gavel fell, granting me the house and a substantial settlement from Nerys' gallery assets, her fraud charges and Kael's testimony sealing her fate. Her tearful plea at the gallery, Calen, please asterisk, was a distant memory, her world of deceit now in ruins, her stunned silence after my confrontation a moment that had marked her defeat. I'd walked away, fought back, and now, Calen, the man she'd called spineless, stood victorious, a fire she couldn't extinguish burning within me, ready to forge a new path on my own terms. Riven's final update came as I left the courthouse. Nerys' gallery has been seized, and she's facing probation, he texted. Nerys is selling her stake to cover debts. You're free, Calen. A last twist. Nerys had tried to pin the gallery's debts on Nerys, but her mother turned on her, testifying against her to avoid liability, leaving Nerys isolated. Her fear at the gallery a glimpse of the woman who'd lost everything, her empire gone, Kael out of her life. I didn't linger on her pain. My focus was on the life I was building, one she couldn't touch, a new chapter born from the ashes of her betrayal. I returned to the house, its silence now a space for renewal. The kitchen where I'd made croissants the morning of her confession transformed into a place of creativity. I'd always loved music, a passion I'd set aside to support Nerys' career, so I dusted off my old saxophone, the instrument I'd played in college before we met. I started practicing again, the smooth notes filling the house, each melody a step toward healing, a reminder of who I'd been before her sneers dimmed my light. Ferris came over often, his laughter a comfort as we jammed together, him on his guitar, our bond deepened by the shared fight we'd endured. You're sounding better every day, Calen, he said one evening, strumming a chord, his role as a friend a steadfast pillar in my journey. I joined a local music program at the community center, teaching kids to play instruments, their eager faces a grounding force, a reminder of my own resilience. Isolde helped me organize recitals, her encouragement a quiet strength. You found your song, she said, her role a beacon through my fight, their presence a foundation I'd rebuilt on. I reconnected with old college friends who'd played in my band, hosting jam sessions in the backyard, the sound of jazz, a nod to the festival where I'd met Nerys, now a symbol of reclaiming my joy, not her betrayal. A symbolic act of closure came when I crafted a small wooden case for my saxophone, carving a simple staff with notes into the lid, a melody I'd written titled Echoes of Freedom. I buried a shard of Nerys' favorite coffee mug, the one she'd used that morning, beneath a tree in the backyard, letting the earth reclaim it, a gesture that felt like releasing the last of her hold on me, turning betrayal into harmony. Nerys faded to a footnote, her probation a quiet end, Nerys estranged, Kael long gone. I didn't care. My life was here, with Ferris's guitar riffs, Isolde's recitals, Riven's updates, the music flowing through my fingers. I started performing at local jazz nights, the clink of glasses and the crowd's applause a new rhythm in my life, a way to connect that felt authentic, a return to the man I'd been before Nerys. Happiness wasn't loud. It was the notes of my saxophone, the laughter of kids, the warmth of friends. Nerys' confession in the car, her affair with Kael, had been her undoing, and I'd walked away, fought back, with Ferris, Isolde, and Riven by my side. The external conflict in court, the gallery confrontation, had been my stage to stand tall, and I'd won, not by her rules, but by rediscovering my music. As I stood on stage, Ferris at my side, the echoes of Freedom case at my feet, I knew I'd turned her betrayal into a new beginning, a life of melody, community, and peace, while Nerys faced the emptiness of her own making. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to help this video reach more viewers. See you in the next one.